All right. We're going to get into this.
Anyhow. Episode what?
Season 2, episode 2.
That's what.
A creature. Or just creature.
Yeah.
Which, that's the only, like, the thing to know right off the bat.
Yeah.
This is the second straight episode where the German title's the same. So they've just given up in Germany, too. They've already...
Yeah, they've consigned themselves to their fate.
Yeah,
they're like, no, we can't fix this one.
Yeah. They're like, obviously we're going to get ratings because of the Hoff, but we're done trying. So, we get a lengthy cold open.
Is he big in Germany, too? Or
That is the joke.
Yeah.
Germans love David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of things that you have somebody that's like from a... Like, there are American celebrities in Japan that we've, like, never heard of because they are not even... Really...
Well, there are also American celebrities that are just bigger in Japan than they are here.
Yeah.
Also, too.
But, like, there's just people that are, like, you know, just regular dudes that have gone over there and have gained celebrity status as the stereotypical American
guy. Or whatever.
Yeah, Hoff had a few things. Like, it was the one place where his music was actually had any reception, really.
Funny, because my mother was completely flabbergasted by the idea that anybody would like David Hasselhoff. She's like, what, that sissy?
Yeah. So yeah, we get a real long cold open here. I looked at the timestamp when the opening credits started. It was 6.5 minutes into the episode.
Yeah. Extreme cold open.
That's like a sixth of the episode. It's before it's the cold open.
Yeah. Like the first episode was a fairly long cold open too. I think they might just be getting longer.
I'm surprised there wasn't a commercial break between the cold open.
If this series had run for as long as Baywatch, the opening credits and the closing credits just would have met.
It's true. Yeah. It'd be like the whole episode is just a cold open eventually.
Yeah. That would be funny.
Well, it might reset in between seasons, to be fair.
No, this one's definitely longer than the previous season's cold opens. This season's cold opens is longer.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, but they weren't getting longer like in the first season. Not really.
I think they were kind of getting longer.
Like they were a little bit, but they didn't get.
Go back and watch Blues Boy.
How dare you? They didn't get that. They didn't get that outrageous until they got to this season.
Yeah, they really cranked it up. I'm blaming Teague on this one.
No, we can blame Teague. Teague is still around, and he's still the worst.
Oh god, this episode's he's a motherfucker. Yeah. So it starts off with some security guards. They're like watching. Yeah, right off the bat, man. They're
right off Batman. Is that it?
So they're watching.
Yeah, sure.
They're
security guards monitoring some
CCTVs.
Yeah.
And one of them sees, like, some movement on what they're supposed to be monitoring. And he's like, hey, man the thing, I'm going to go take a look. And the other guy's like, you're going to get fired. You're not supposed to go over there.
Yeah, we're not supposed to do that. What are you doing?
Yeah, and he's like, no, fuck it. The only way they're going to find out is if you tell them. Never mind all the security cameras.
Yeah.
So just shut your mouth, it'll be cool. And then he goes down there. And then when he gets to the lab, and it's pretty clear this is a lab situation at this point. Right. You immediately shadowy lurking, right, going on, some little, it's a person-esque thing, lurking in the shadows, like darting around.
There's a figure in the shadows, but it's like contained. There's an area where it is.
Yeah,
but it's sort of moving around in this area.
Yeah, there's like a lab door, and then there's like an inner containment door.
Yeah.
And so we can learn this guy's name is Fred. It doesn't matter, but I just want to call him Fred because he's such an asshole.
No, he's a real asshole.
He
is the asshole in this.
At first, I thought you learned that the monster creeping around is named Fred.
We don't get a name for him.
Security guard just creeps into this evil scientist laboratory.
Yeah. He sees
this shadowy evil scientist laboratory.
Yeah.
Sees a figure that's in prison, and he's like, and it's clear from the context that like he's like aware of what's going on to an extent.
Yeah.
Like this isn't like a secret to him.
No, it shouldn't be. His direction of action.
Right. It really couldn't be a secret too, because the little prison that the thing is encased in is clear.
Yeah.
We find that out. We sort of find that out later. We sort of see it now, but
yeah.
Anyway,
because he immediately, what you see as a person is he walks into this room and there's some shadowy skittering. He sees that skittering and he's immediately like, I gotta fuck this skittering.
What?
Yeah, he goes in the lab. You can see it's a lab. He immediately takes off his belt with like his flashlight and everything, and like, I'm going in.
I'm gonna go into this prison cell and fuck whatever's inside of it.
Yeah, it's immediately. And so as soon as he opens the inner door, like they show him opening it, and then as soon as it opens, right, just immediately Ajogun growl. It's the same sound effect.
It's the same sound.
And it's used a lot. This Ajogun growl everywhere.
Return of the Jaguar is what this episode could be called.
Yeah, it's just the Ajogun growl I feel like is going to be the Wilhelm scream of this entire season.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Every monster carries a little Ajogun with it.
It was the first monster. The monster to be.
It is.
Yeah.
The fiercest monster with the fiercest culture on it.
These are the ones that were the Wendigos of the Amazon?
We'll see.
No.
We'll see.
The Wendigo is the vampire.
No. The thing is.
Sorry.
The thing is. This is the Fishman of the Steam Plant Playa Vista, which it really kind of turns out to be.
So dude immediately killed as soon as he enters the
mauled.
As soon as he enters the cell, he just gets mauled and killed.
Yeah.
They're screaming and so other dude comes.
Yeah, the other security guard's like, fuck, I gotta go in there. And then when he gets mauled basically in the Enter Sandman music video where it just does the strobe lights. And it's like,
yeah.
And he's like, ah.
That's the second guy?
Yeah, that's the second guy.
Yeah, because the other dude immediately comes to enter the lab. As soon as he opens the door of the lab, then he gets mauled.
Yeah, and it's very clearly a hot chick then.
And now it's revealed that it's a hot chick. Yeah. It's already been inferred that it's a hot chick. Now
judging by the fact that the first security guard just wanted to fuck it. Yeah. But we don't know what he's into.
We don't know what he's into.
No. Not when Baywatch is involved.
Yeah. So then we go to Hoff, like, locking up as he's leaving the lifeguard building. You can tell because there's a big rolling door that says lifeguard on it.
Yeah, that was really weird. I was like, why? Is that...
Yeah, it's like a huge one. It's like a 3-car garage size one. It's a lifeguard.
Oh, is this Destiny's Return? Is she a monster?
No. And so Teague pulls up in a convertible and is basically like, get in, nerd, we're hunting Ajogun.
Yeah, it is really weird. That is basically what it is. He's like, get in, we need you. And it's like, does he work for Teague now? Is that...
We don't know. Nobody knows what's going on with Teague.
Yeah, it's true.
In this episode particularly, they highlight that no one knows what the fuck Teague's doing here, what his motives are. Who he's working for? Who works for Teague? No one knows.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like he has dirt. It's like he both employs and has dirt on all the members of Knights.
So
that or he has been christened Sir Hired for Scale.
So at the scene, Angie and Hoff are there, and Fred, the first guard, is on the ground, really trying to look mangled. Like, he's really trying hard as an actor.
He's doing his best.
He's like,
he's not a good actor, but he's trying his best.
Yeah, he's really trying to sell the mangled aspect of this. There's no cops. And in fact, when Hoff's like, all right, should we call the cops? Teague's like, no, we can't call the cops until we know exactly what we're dealing with. Despite the fact that 2 people are dead already, he's like, we cannot tell the authorities. We don't know exactly what a double murderer is.
Yeah,
I'm not on board with this logic.
No. What's even more important?
We said Teague is the worst. We're not kidding.
Hoff 100% not on board, because as soon as Teague says this, Hoff just face palms hard. He just Captain Picard memes.
Yeah, no. Even Hoff realizes this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so it turns out that the doctor who ran this lab, died like 2 weeks ago. And he had like all kinds of private funding bullshit for what was going on, but no one really knows. It's top secret.
Yeah, he died, and then he had a bunch of he was doing something mysterious for people who are mysterious.
Yeah,
with mysterious money.
Yeah, and so Angie found just like a blob of
flesh.
Yeah, just monster ectodermis.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Oh yeah, I found the skin. I'm taking this with me." And when she's looking at it like under a microscope, she's basically like, "I don't know what it is, but it's getting more dangerous because it's mutating." I don't know how this logic comes together. Whatever. We're finally at the intro music, which just breaks all the tension. It really does, because it's like they're building to a moment. Angie says this, "Oh, it's getting more dangerous because it's mutating." Ominous notes, and then
and then the shitty intro music, as we mentioned before.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh God, damn it! That scream just kills it."
It really does. So yeah, shitty intro music.
Yeah,
here to stay.
Yep. And so next we see a truck driving along, and they see basically the Baywatch version of the Species creature run across the street, and she's naked. And so the truck guy pulls over because he's like, "Oh, you know."
He's like, "What?" He's like, "There's some random person out here."
So he like offers her his coat. And it's like, "Oh, you can come back to the truck. It's warm inside there."
Dude tries to help her, offers her clothes, says he'll drive her where she needs to go.
Immediately starts undoing his pants.
But when he sees...
No.
Then we can see...
This guy isn't Fred. It's Fred who is singularly an asshole. It's him. Fred and Teague are basically the assholes.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy.
Up to this point, anyway.
Yeah.
So the thing is Species here has a bad case of thriller eyes going on at the moment.
Yeah. So again, as mentioned, Species. I didn't look it up. I should have. Like
if this came before or after Species?
When Species came out in relation to this.
We'll have to look it up in a little bit, because this is entirely just basically like, what if Species was a Baywatch Nights episode?
What if Species was the Fishman of Steam Plant Playa Vista? So she has these terrible...
Species is 1995.
Okay.
I think this might have come out in 96.
God damn it, I bet it.
I think I'm not positive. It might be 95. It might
I'll
Again, also because it's Hollywood, like people hear about...
Well, yeah, Baywatch Nights, 1995 drama, 2 seasons, so yeah.
Yeah, the second season, 1996. They're like, fucking Species, what if we should make a Species.
95 to 97, so yeah.
Yeah. Yep. No, this motherfucker.
Yeah, that's suspected. Anyway.
Yeah, she's got thriller eyes.
She's got... They're awful fucking contacts. They're really bad. Because she looks normal at first, but every now and then she gets the thriller eyes.
Yeah.
And just...
Yes.
First she claws it. Right?
Yeah. He's like, "Whoa," and he's like, and she just like fucking swipes his face, and he's like, "Give me back my jacket."
He's like, "Fuck you, bitch! You're just gonna claw me in the face."
And then of course, after that, just Ajogun growl.
Yeah, and then mauling death.
Yep. So Angie and Hoff and Teague are still in the lab, and oh man, yeah, this is where it gets. This is where the science comes into play.
This is where the rubber hits the beaker.
Yeah, so Angie's like, "Okay, this thing is amphibian." And this is where I transcribed not entirely their dialogue, but a lot of the back and forth. Because Angie's like, "It's amphibian." Hoff's like, "I don't think a frog did this." And then Angie's like, "Okay, Hoff, do you remember high school biology class?" And Hoff's like, "Yeah, fetal pigs or something." That's his exact line. Yeah, fetal pigs or something. That's his entire understanding of high school biology.
Seems legit.
And then Angie says that a human embryo passes from single cell to a tadpole, which is like a fish, then amphibian, and then finally mammal. The whole cycle is from the ocean to the land.
Yeah. What? Everybody knows humans are frogs, buddy. Yeah. This is just science.
Well, in the beginning, right?
I think what they did is they watched Species in Jurassic Park, and were like, Yeah, frog DNA.
Yeah,
You can just throw that in there.
That's why I started this section of my notes with, "Oh God, this scene is too much for me."
Yeah, no, that was really bad. I don't know.
Everyone knows that what actually happens when ladies have their period is they just release a clutch of eggs. And you're supposed to jizz over them.
And later man comes along and fertilizes what he can find.
Sometimes they get eaten.
Yeah, sometimes seagulls come and take them.
Yeah. It was really, and that was almost the exact lines. Like,
no, yeah, yeah.
And so, evidently, the
embryo is just a tadpole or whatever,
which is like a fish.
And
then it turns into an amphibian, right? Remember when babies are amphibians?
Right. Yeah. Well, they breathe the amniotic fluid and basically amphibians.
And then finally, no. Yeah, so evidently
I think this is the same kind of logic that libertarians used to create the economy.
No.
So anyway, evidently this guy's research was about those, evidently, moments of transition when, the baby goes from tadpole to...
Yeah, when people turn from amphibian to mammals.
Yeah. When a Gripply becomes a human. So,
and a barrel's involved.
Yeah, and a coin slot.
Oh, that has disturbing implications for the coin slot.
So then some contact of Teague's calls. We don't even know who this asshole is. And he's been monitoring the police scanners for them. And then, so they plays 2 recordings. First one is them calling in the truck situation. Found the guy dead. Truck missing. It looks like a robbery. And then the second thing is they found the truck at this club. And so Hoff's like, all right, you gotta go. He asks can we call him can we call the cops now that there's now a third dead body here? And Teague's like, no. What are we gonna tell them? Some wild story about clones and stuff? Well, A, this is a very illegal science setup here going on. B, there are 3 dead people now. Maybe you should call them and be like, hey, this is what we think's going on. But Teague's like, no, obviously they won't believe this, so let's just keep them in the dark more. Let's see how many dead bodies we can rack up.
Yeah, I mean, they won't believe most of the shit. They certainly won't believe the whole tadpoles into humans thing.
Well, no, Andrew should definitely not mention that.
But even if they don't believe it, you still need to tell them that something is killing people.
Oh man. If we ever had merch, the Angie evolution of man.
Oh yeah.
This is amoeba to tadpole to frog to person.
No, that's pretty.
No, well, no. It's just egg, tadpole, and then just a question mark, and then just person.
What you want to do really, I think, is to just cut out bits from textbook stuff. So it's like official pictures where it's an egg being fertilized and then a tadpole and then a person somehow.
No, you gotta go. Remember, it goes from tadpole to amphibian.
Right, yeah, to amphibian.
So you need the frog in there.
Well, I actually in the middle there, I would want some sort of horrific frog, some sort of horrific frog man.
Well, that's after the frog. There's a transition period in the evolution of man sketch.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a frog. It could be a newt.
It could be a newt and a newt man.
Yeah, no, yeah. You're right. It could be a newt, and then a newt man, and then a man. yeah. There you go.
So
I like how the compromise to all that was just a newt.
You're
right. A frog isn't gonna work.
I think Andre's just trying to avoid the situation where you just cut out a picture from a D&D book.
And that is a bit. That one, I was thinking that as well. You're not wrong. I was thinking about you could just put a Gripling in there.
So,
or a Bullywug.
Oh man, okay. I almost forgot about this scene. So anyway, so Hoff's like, all right, I'm gonna go pick up Griff. You two stay here and dick around with this science bullshit.
Yeah, you do your fucking nerd shit, and I'll do the real work.
Oh yeah. So now we go to Griff and Donna at the gym.
Oh yeah. This is a real fucking scene. Is all I can say.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, is that really the case? Because we already had somebody taking off their pants.
No, we got stuff to do here. So, first off, so there's a little back and forth between Griff and Donna about winning at Stairmaster.
they're at the gym. I think they just finished one exercise and they're moving to the
and
Stairmaster.
Griff's like, don't worry about keeping up with me. It's fine if you don't, do. And she's like, I
Donna's immediately offended by the prospect that she can't kick his ass at
because she's Donna. She's the ultimate Mary Sue.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, she's just the best at everything.
Yeah. And
especially hip thrusting in her dress.
No, well, yeah.
So like they go, okay, you want to make a bet that So obviously Donna's like, you can't beat me at Stairmaster. Of course, like, I'm Griff. Of course I can. And so they make a friendly wager. So this scene has, oh man, you can tell they spent a lot of time on this framing.
They really did.
This shot composition is something else. Because Donna goes, she's on the Stairmaster.
Donna offers first, right?
So she goes, she's on the Stairmaster, and she goes, she's already like doing a little bit, so she's got a little jiggle going on. Uh-huh. And she's like, and you go, what are we betting? Griff's like, what are we betting? And she goes, well, Griff, what do I have that you want? And then they cut to the shot of Griff, and it's Griff framed with Donna's tits going up and down on the side of the frame.
It's basically just her tits and her abs. Just doing with a
The abs were an accident. It was the tits that...
I don't know. I think the abs are intentional because she's explicitly showing them.
Well, no, but there's like this much, but the tits are just going like this on the screen.
No, I disagree there. I think it's the whole package. It's basically just torso from Donna while on the Stairmaster. And so she just basically says, "Hey, you want to fuck me?"
Like, if this is the screen, it's like that part is of her belly showing, and then just tits, and then Griff's face right here, and he just looks her up and down. Mm-hmm. And really savory. Yeah, he really knows it.
Like 6 seconds at least.
Licking his lips.
And then he's like,
he does everything but the wolf whistle.
He really does. He's like a Tex Avery cartoon. And then he says that he wants to borrow her car.
Because he has a date.
Yeah. And so...
I forget what was his...
nothing.
Nothing?
Donna puts up nothing in this because she's Donna. She knows she's going to win.
Yeah, she has no win.
Yeah. So then, yeah. So then, they, a little while later, they show, Griff gets a call that, Hoff's called to meet him down at the club. So they're both on the Stairmaster, but now Griff is just beat to shit. He is wore out, and Donna is perfectly fine.
Fresh as a daisy.
Yeah.
She don't give a shit.
And so when Griff gets the call, he's like, oh, thank God. And he gets off. And then Donna's like, don't worry, you can still use my car. She's like, I'm better than you, and you know it, so fuck you.
I know it, now you know it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah. So then, I forgot about this part, too. Mm-hmm. So Hoff pulls up to the club, sees the truck, sees the detective looking at the truck. He's like checking it out first before they go in, because if they figure there's a murderer inside, we should check out the truck first while we wait for backup. So, because he explicitly says he's waiting for backup, but the first thing Hoff does, he's like, all right, this detective who's looking at a truck that's been stolen by assumed murderer, what's Hoff do? He sneaks up on the detective and startles him.
Yeah, he does.
The first thing of at least 3 times that Hoff tempts police to shoot him in this episode.
Yeah.
Hoff is really pushing that tall white guy energy. He's like, the cops will never shoot me.
Yeah, I mean, not wrong.
So he startles the detective, and the detective sees Hoff, and he's like, "All right, Hoff, hang back a bit. I got backup coming. Just don't fuck this up." Hoff sees like a blob of snot of some kind of biomaterial from the fishwoman on the handle of the truck. Doesn't mention it to the detective. Just sees it.
Yeah, looks just like the stuff that Angie.
Yeah. And so Griff pulls up, and then Hoff's like, "All right."
Let's go fuck this up.
No, he's like, all right, Griff, come here. And of course, this is a scene where cops are going to be there with backup. So what is Hoff's wise suggestion to Griff? Well, obviously he gives Griff a gun.
Yeah.
He just pulls out a couple of guns. He's like, here, Griff, you take this one. I got this one. Just don't use it if you don't have to. And so they go in. They have no idea who they're looking for or what.
Yeah.
Then the police come inside, and they're looking around. They have no idea who they're looking for.
Or
But
what?
no, but they're like, they decide they're going to stop the first guy who looks like he might be capable of murdering somebody. Which I don't know if you recognized him. I recognized him.
Not sure. He looked familiar.
So, he's first of all, he's an American Gladiator. Malibu. Yeah, it's Malibu, a.k.a. Warrior from Dragon Strike, is in this episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
He looked familiar. I'm like, I probably know that guy from somewhere. I'm not gonna look that up though.
No, I was like, that's Malibu, isn't it? And so the cops they just decide they're immediately going to start hassling him. Immediately. Oh, fuck. And then we get back to Teague. Oh, God, Teague. This is the scene where Teague decides he's just not going to be cooperative with Angie at all.
Yes. As none of that he's been cooperative up to now.
But Angie's just basically asking him, like, all right, why are we here, Teague? And he's like, I can't tell you that. He's like, well, who are you? What? Why are we in this bullshit? And he's just like, I can't tell you that. And he just refuses to say anything.
Yeah, he gives no information.
Yeah. It's just, it's like, why are they even tolerating the presence of Teague? The only person,
As I said before, he has to have dirt. He both owes them money and has dirt on them.
the only thing I can think is Donna likes Teague, and Donna won't kick them out if they hang out with Teague.
Maybe that could be it. That could be the dirt. Yeah, it's like I think we mentioned it before. The possibility of a Shadowrun situation with Baywatch Nights. It just gets further and further into this because he's 100% a shady megacorp. What is it? Johnson, I think, is what they call him. The people who just give you jobs.
Teague is a real Johnson. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
right
he's
now.
a Johnson. So he's 100% a shady megacorp Johnson, and then they just have to deal with whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Oh, fucking Teague. Teague is the worst. So now some dude has caught that our species here is there, and species is just got like 1,000-yard stare, and Hoff kind of notices that.
Well, she's just they like showed her I think a little bit before this.
Yeah, they showed it there.
Where she's just sitting in the club, just sort of looking around.
Yeah, but at this point she's just
being
staring ahead.
Yeah,
and this fucking
she's like, oh, look at these weird people.
Yeah.
Look at the stuff, isn't it neat?
This Venice Beach fucking Jersey Shore guy comes up and starts hitting on her.
Yeah.
This guy's a real piece of work. And she's just staring ahead, and Hoff kind of sees her staring ahead.
Asshole number 3.
Yeah. It's like, asshole, and she's not paying attention to him. I wonder.
And so, and she's like staring ahead at, and it looks like she kind of catches glimpse of Hoff staring at her. Hoff's really looking dumb at this.
Well,
thing.
it looks like they're.
It looks like they're
both looking at each other.
She's like staring, and then he like catches it, and then they just like lock eyes.
Yeah.
And he's just looking like a fucking idiot.
No, yeah. So they have a little moment where they just sort of stare at each other.
And then like he gets pulled away as she like turns to this fucking jabroni, and is like, "What do you mean?" in like a big scary voice. And then Griff is on the phone with Angie. Angie's like, "It's female," and they're like, "Oh, a woman?" And he's like, "No, it's female." we gotta use Ferengi speak here. And she's like, "It's moving backwards from mammal to amphibian."
What?
Yeah.
What?
We told you already. Don't you know your science, man?
Yeah. So now that the evolution of man, it goes to mammal, and then goes back down to amphibian again.
That would be on the back of the shirt.
It goes back to frog. So, and so now Malibu, the warrior from Dragon Strike, is just really getting pissed off at the cops because they're just hassling him.
Yeah, because they're almost accusing him of murder.
Yeah,
just because he's there.
Yeah, just because he's got guns. he's a bit swollen. Everybody else looks pretty weak, so they can't mangle a Fred, which they haven't even seen the Fred mangling yet.
No.
And also, the guy who they did find was very clearly claw swiped.
Also true. Yeah. Malibu
does not look like a claw swipe kind of attack guy.
No.
I mean, I guess he kind of looks like the Ron Perlman Beast from the Beauty and the Beast show. He has a little bit of that look to him, so maybe a little claw in there.
Well, I mean, it could be his killer persona. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He could be like, and that when he kills people. Only when he kills people. He doesn't. He puts like things on his fingers.
Are you saying the warrior?
He puts bugles on his fingers and cuts people in the face.
Are you saying warrior multi-class and vigilante in this situation?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Oh man. So then I forgot about this part too. There's so much in this episode that is great. Oh man, it's ridiculous. So Hoff goes back after he gets the call about it being female. He sees that the dude that was hitting on her is gone, and so is she. But the dude that the jabroni was with is still there.
Yeah, his friends are still there.
Yeah. So he goes up to the friend, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, where's that chick that was just here?" And he's like,
fuck you, guy.
Yeah, why don't I tell you? And he's like, "I just got back from the clinic. I have to tell her that she's infectious."
which is a good move.
It's the best Hoff play right there.
It's a solid Hoff play.
No, it is. You look at Hoff and you're like, yeah, he probably gave her the clap.
Yep.
So he's like, oh, so yeah, he points.
Well, I think the guy does a funny thing here where he sort of laughs for a second.
Yeah.
And he goes, ha ha, oh.
Yeah, he gets it.
But yeah, so then he tells him.
Yeah. And so fucking Jersey Shore here, like, pours Species a drink, and she just fucking chugs it. He's like, whoa, I really like you.
I like a girl who gets drunk immediately.
Yeah.
That makes it so much easier.
Yeah, and so Hoff and Griff are creeping through this building. And so it's like upstairs from the club they're creeping through. And so Griff gets spooked by something, immediately pulls his gun on a mirror. This is the guy Hoff trusted with this gun. He's immediately playing with it. And so they cut back to
You know, the funny thing is he gives them a gun because they're going after a murderous thing.
Yeah.
It makes sense for him. It makes sense for him to give him a gun in many respects.
I'm surprised he didn't go with a backpack full of grenades in this situation.
But I don't remember how much he tells Griff about the situation.
They didn't really give him time to mention it. He's just like, Griff, come here. Here's a gun.
We're looking for somebody. Here's a gun. Is basically all he tells. Is basically all he tells.
Don't shoot anybody unless I tell you it's okay to shoot them.
I think he might have mentioned that it's a dangerous situation. There's murder.
Maybe.
But other than that, they don't know.
I think Griff's up for anything.
Griff seems to be up for anything.
Maybe this is just a setup to get Griff arrested.
It could be. I'm for it.
I just like the idea that Griff loves Hoff so much. Hoff shows up, he's like, Griff, take this gun. Come to the club with me. Griff's like, no questions asked, I'm there, buddy.
Yeah, it's true. That is Griff's behavior.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Hoff asks him to do something, and he drops everything to do it. no matter what it is.
You know what I think?
I have a dozen bikini women jumping on trampolines. Half asked me to take out the trash, so that's kind of more important.
And so, like, obviously, in the previous season, right, this would be Ellerby being the buddy here. It's like, we got a thing, fucking take care of business with Hoff. He did that all the time. Mm-hmm. But there's no Hoff, so now it's just Griff. And Griff's just like a puppy. He's just gonna follow along.
That's true. Yeah. Ellerby would want to know what's going on.
Yeah. Ellerby would demand some information before he grabs a backpack full of grenades and goes after some bitch.
I mean, to be fair, Hoff doesn't have much information to give, because Teague gives no fucking information.
Meanwhile, Hoff just goes over to Griff and goes, execute.
You see, yeah. The Griff version of the whole Anakin thing is basically Palpatine just goes, I'm Palpatine, I'm evil, and Anakin just goes, okay, sir. How many Jedi do you want me to kill?
Should I start with the younglings?
Do you want me to start with the oldest or start with the youngest? How do you want me to do this?
I think I can get up the numbers faster if I go with the younglings.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, it might take a long time to kill all the Jedi, so you better to start with the young ones so they don't get older later.
Yeah.
They're stronger.
Yeah. Oh man, and the score.
I can ramp up like a combo.
You just don't want to end up with a swallow with a spider situation where you employ stronger and stronger Jedi to kill the ones you just killed.
Right.
You don't want that situation. You gotta
you gotta chop
get
it
them
off
before
at the
that
knees.
snowballs.
Nip that in the bud.
Yeah. And oh man, so the
like Dynasty Warriors.
So the music in this is really doing some heavy lifting in this scene. So it's like they're kind of trying to do like the slow suspenseful building thing, but there's also like it's like a weird version of the classic like Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just like a voice going like It's really weird, but they're fucking trying their hardest with it. And so after she takes the drink, like fucking this jabroni dude's making his move on her.
Yeah,
and she's like, wait, what are you doing?
Up to this point, you can tell she's sort of learning how to speak just by observing people.
Yeah, and she doesn't.
She's been parodying stuff at first, and now she's sort of actually forming sentences after having absorbed enough club chatter.
After swiping enough truckers in dark alleys.
She needs trucker blood and club chatter in order to learn English.
Yeah.
Anyway.
As you do.
So he starts making his move on her, and she's like, wait, what are you doing? And then he's like, this guy's reasoning. Oh man, he's like, you didn't say no fast enough, so that means yes.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, in his defense, they did for the human. This most of the stuff would obviously be like, yeah, let's go. But then but as soon as he goes, and tries to pump the brakes, he immediately gets hyper aggressive.
Yeah, he said he's played red light, green light with a lot of girls in his day, and she didn't put the red light up fast enough. Mm-hmm. And so he throws her. Yeah, so he throws her onto the bed. And he gets fucking Ajogun growled.
So Ajogun growl, death.
Yep. And now she's got the fucking thriller eyes going.
Yeah.
I mean, so far she's been kind of in the right as far as.
Well, not the trucker.
Well, yeah, true.
The trucker guy just tried to help her,
yeah.
And she clawed him in the face for it. And then he was like, "Fuck you, bitch!" And then she killed him.
Yeah, he's like, "Give me back my jacket. You're stretching it out."
Yeah. No, trucker guy did nothing wrong.
Yeah. So they hear the growls, and so like Hoff is like looking around, and he like flips on the light, and this is another great scene. He flips on the light, and then she tracks she's like, the light's fucking bright, and then she tracks the conduit to this box that's right next to her that just says Fuse 2, and she just punches the shit out of it.
Yeah, just destroys it immediately.
Yeah, so all the lights in the club go out, but so most of the electricity's gone. The music goes off, and the lights in the club go off. But then there's just like, so that's what Fuse 2 is in charge of. Fuse 1 seems to be in charge of the creepy lighting.
Yes.
It's just the slowly flashing red lights and the occasional like light in the corner. That's what Fuse 1 is in charge of, and we don't know where that one is.
Well, it's standard. Emergency lighting is always creepy lighting. On spaceships and clubs, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's
It's the whole Yahtzee thing of
It's standard-
like,
it's
why
standard-
why did they always make these like industrial spaceships to look like they were scary to begin with? It's like nobody lived in this thing before.
yeah, it's standard OSHA compliance.
And so I'm guessing maybe Fuse 1's also in charge of the spooky jazz soundtrack that's playing. So Hoff like walks into the standard stack of cardboard boxes room. And Species is in there. And like he walks in and like slowly turns and sees her. And the first thing she says to him is, "Don't hurt me." Like, this is the only time she said that. She's already murdered 3 people.
Yeah,
But Hoff's like,
she's already killed 3 people.
yeah. Actually,
Brutally at that.
4 actually, now I think about
Oh,
it.
that's right. She killed other security guard. I
Yeah.
forgot about him.
Yeah.
The other security guard who didn't really do anything.
No. But, I mean,
He was dumb, but he didn't do anything
Yeah.
that wrong.
and so she doesn't know what's happening. And she asks Hoff. And Hoff's like, "I don't know. Fucking Teague won't tell me." He doesn't say that, but he has no idea.
It is accurate. He has no idea what the fuck is going on.
She's got thriller eyes, but he talks her down from them. And so her eyes...
Talks her down from Thriller Eyes?
Yeah, she's got thriller eyes. He's talking with her. They go away. As soon as they go away, the cops bust in.
As mentioned before, they did have sort of a moment before.
Yeah, and the cop. This is part was just a little nice for me. Is they go, "Step away from it, Mitch." But it kind of sounds like they just say, "Step away from it, bitch."
No, yeah, I thought that too. I thought the exact same thing.
And I liked it. And then so immediately she just Ajogun growls and jumps out a window,
Uh-huh.
and she's fucking gone. Hoff's just awestruck.
I think slow-mo too.
Yeah, it is definitely a slow mo, but like not the good slow mo.
No, the bad slow-mo.
Yeah, where instead of like shooting with a high speed, they just slow down the frame rate so you see the obvious jumps in the movement of of her. Yeah, and so Teague shows up now. They're downstairs. Teague shows up, tells Hoff that she went into the power plant tunnels, probably the tunnels for the Steam Plant Playa Vista.
So he has now become the fishwoman of Steam Plant.
Yes.
Yeah.
The predictions were true. And so now Teague's like, "I told the cops everything. SWAT team's gonna handle it." Hoff's like, "Oh, now you fucking tell the cops." He's like, "You don't tell the cops when you should, and now that you shouldn't tell the cops."
Yeah, no.
And so Hoff is as pissed at Teague as everyone should be all the time.
Yeah.
Because he's Teague.
Because he's awful.
Yeah, he's just the worst. And he's like, "It's a person, it's not a mindless creature." Again, this is another great science moment for Angie. Angie says that obviously she's headed to the ocean, as it's the only place an amphibian would feel safe.
Right.
You know, all those ocean amphibians.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean, the way they breathe through their skin and the salt water, it
Yes.
just
They
works
just
so well.
they just love to breathe that salt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I did double check. There is technically one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's got to be at least something.
There's one saltwater frog that eats crabs. They can tolerate some salt water.
He's obviously that one saltwater frog.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why she has to be a frog and not a newt on the picture.
Well, they no longer exist because they all evolved into humans.
You know, actually, the thing about it, one side should be the newt and then the frog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more appropriate.
Yeah. So
So
yeah. Oh yeah, this is okay. So so now the SWAT team is going down to the tunnels.
The detective in charge guy. I think it's the same dude, the FBI guy from before. Looks like the same guy.
It might be.
Which is like
my mind was in so many places I could.
yeah, because we mentioned him before, the dude who wanted a blind introduction from
Yeah.
Ghana, And previously, he had the whole thing where he fucked up witness protection stuff.
Yeah. It might be that guy.
I think it's the same guy.
Let's say it is. Why not?
He has more gray hair now.
So, they found the SWAT team's going down the tunnels. Hop and Griff have to go down the tunnels to try to beat the SWAT team to her.
Yeah.
And so,
because now that Hoff knows she's hot, he has to save her.
Yes, exactly. It's a hot blonde. Hoff's all in. So Hoff tells Griff that, Griff's like, okay, how big are these tunnels? Hoff's like, they run under the entire city. And
Which is frankly ridiculous.
Yes.
But
So Griff's like, all right, that's like 100 square miles. How the hell are we going to find her? Hoff's like, don't worry. They all funnel to the ocean. She's between here and there. Just the worst, just hand wavy. We'll find her. It's cool. And so now we get, some scenes of both the SWAT team and Hoff and Griff just walking through tunnels for a little while. It's like more than a minute of that.
yeah, it's way too long of that.
Yeah. And then, so Angie, here comes another beautiful moment in Angie science, where Angie is looking at it, and she says that it has some form of regeneration, which obviously means artificially induced evolution, which obviously means indestructibility.
Yeah.
And so, and he's just still being a fucking dick here.
Yeah, he continues his trend of being a fucking asshole and doing nothing useful.
Yeah. And then Angie hypothesizes also, maybe it can self-replicate.
Yeah.
She just throws that out.
Well, I think specifically she hypothesizes that it can breed. And that's what she means by self-replicate. That's like the idea.
I don't think so.
I think that's what she's getting at.
I don't think so. She says because it's amphibian, it can possibly self-replicate. Is what she says.
I know what she says, but I'm thinking that's what she's getting at. They're going more for a species angle. You gotta remember the species thing. That's the whole thing in species.
I know, but you could say that a lot differently. It's not like only amphibians breed.
I know she doesn't. I know that's not what she actually says. I think that's what she wants to say. I'm reading between the lines real hard on this. I realize that.
I can't agree with you here. Anyway, Species got Thriller Eyes back, and she does my favorite murder. So she murders a lot of SWAT team members here. She does my favorite one here, so it looks like they pass her, but it's just because they're showing like her hiding and the SWAT team people going, and they don't show any good frame of reference for where they are.
It's basically just various shots of them walking through the tunnels, and occasionally you see her like hiding or whatever.
Yeah, and so they show like one guy, he's just separated from the rest, and this SWAT team is real fucking patchwork shit. Now I know SWAT teams weren't that old at this point, but they're just real assholes here. And so this lone SWAT guy like kind of sees her, and then she does this great like bunny hop pounce where she like puts her hands up by her shoulders and does the little bunny hop at him and just mauls the shit out of him with that.
And I think you can see she sort of has claws. They're like shitty claws.
Yeah,
claws.
Yeah, you can see that he's got like little
Lee press on nails.
They look
They've
more
been
like,
sharpened.
Yeah,
they look more like that.
Yeah, you get the acrylics and then you take the hole punch and do the 2 hole punches on either side to get a nice point.
Yeah.
So yeah, she bunny hops at him. It's so great. And then, so when he goes down, you hear the Ajogun growl and the screams, and then 2 other SWAT officers decide they're in Predator now, and just take their guns and just shoot from the hip automatic down an empty hallway. It's, ah!
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love it. And so then, and every time she attacks, Ajogun growl. This next scene, she's up on top of some pipes, and she just reaches down and grabs the guy's neck, and snaps his neck.
Yep.
Another guy, he's just walking. She just like swings down like monkey bar, like hanging from her knees on the monkey bar, and just grabs, and just, you don't even know what happens to him.
Yeah, it's just a string of her just murdering these SWAT
Yeah.
dudes.
So now, the SWAT teams, they're kind of a little bit panicking now. Like, oh, but game over, man, game over.
They're coming from the wall.
Yeah. And then she reaches underneath like a pipe and just grabs one third guy by the ankles and yanks him. Wow. And then what's great is there's this huge like pipe, right? She reaches under, grabs, pulls him under. They see him fall down, slide under. They take their guns. Obviously, it's down low. That's where I grabbed her. What do? They take their guns above the pipe, shoot over the pipe, over the head.
Yeah, I think they were trying to shoot like up and down, but like angle it down into where she would be, but it's real dumb.
Yeah. So now,
Not to mention that they could almost certainly shoot through this pipe.
yeah, they could probably
It's
shoot
not.
through
It
the
doesn't.
pipe.
It's not like a heavy duty like thick steel pipe. It's more like air conditioning pipe.
So, so Hoff and Griff hear the gunfire and suspect they're too late. So, so what do? They sprint towards it while like SWAT people are sprinting away, and we see like the corner shot where we're down both hallways, and Hoff and Griff totally startle these panicking SWAT team guys.
Who are being attacked by basically a xenomorph at this
Yeah, and somehow they don't get shot because they, again, white guys. So they're like, "What the fuck are you doing here? Get the fuck out of here, man!" And then they just sprint the other direction, and Hoff and Griff go the way they came from.
Yeah,
And
they
so,
proceed to not get out of there.
yeah. And so now we see Species has been hit by one of these bullets, probably a ricochet or something.
Yeah.
He's hitting the side, and they show some cops are swarming the area, like fucking squad cars are pulling up. They show like a helicopter shot of people running into tunnels and shit. And she's like,
yeah, net is closing.
yeah, and she's just like kind of like
Limping along.
Yeah, she's looking pretty lethargic at this point, and she's just like leaning up against the wall, and she kind of like sits down like she's gonna give up, but then she starts crawling, and she's pretty close to the beach now.
Yeah, like she can basically see it.
Yeah.
No, okay.
And so somehow, this is the weird part. So Hoff and Griff somehow they made it to the beach and now have like circled around to the exit of the tunnel from the other side.
Uh-huh.
And Hoff goes in and he's like helping her out and like picks her up because he's like, you know, I don't know what kind of ecological impact this person's gonna have, and I'm in charge of guarding the beach, so obviously I should throw somebody who's killed at least 4 people in there.
Right. Also, Griff doesn't go in with him.
No, Griff doesn't go in.
He stays out. He stays out by the beach for a decent reason this time.
Yeah.
In case she got by him.
Yeah.
Because the reasoning I figured is that they figured out she's got to be going through this tunnel, and so they just left. So they just exited and went to the exit of that tunnel.
Yeah. And so Hoff picks her up, and then like the SWAT team shows up, and then they tell him to stop, or they're gonna shoot the shit out of him. And this is the 3rd time Hoff's like daring police to shoot him, and just like no. And then Species is like, oh no, it's too late, and so she gives him an Ajogun growl, and jumps out of his arms, and he like falls over.
Yeah. Right.
And
Jumps
then-
out of him, knocks him over.
Yeah, and then she just fucking charges the SWAT team. Just rah! And then
they're stacked up like Left 4 Dead style, where front lines crouching and
yeah, and so they all open fire, and then one guy fucking shoots his golden eye grenade launcher.
yeah, for real. It's such overkill.
Yeah. So I don't know how Hoff doesn't get shot in the just wall of lead going down this tunnel, and B, he has to get up and sprint away from the expanding explosion that totally acts like when you shoot the grenades down a hallway in GoldenEye. It just keeps coming. I don't know what kind of explosive this grenade was.
Yeah, it's weird.
Apparently multiple charges.
It's weird because it expands like way too much. Even for a grenade in a tunnel, you expect
Yeah.
that to expand, but it expands way too much. It also doesn't apparently only expands one way because it doesn't go towards the SWAT people.
Well, no, see, you don't even know this at this point, right? They don't show them after.
They don't show it. It looks like the grenade dude just killed them all.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
And Hoff's running, jumps, does the dive away from the fire.
Outside the tube.
Yeah, and he's just like lands in the sand. And then when the Griff comes up to him, it's like, what happened? Hoff's basically in tears at this point.
Yeah, he's upset about it.
Yeah. And
I didn't even get to put my dick in her.
yeah, he's basically like, She was right. We just wanted to kill her. He's basically like, he was too good for this world. It's basically
this monster that murdered 4 people.
Yeah, he knows I murdered 4 people. I actually murdered like 10.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
We remember all the SWAT guys.
Yeah, all the SWAT guys. Yeah. I
And
didn't count. I wasn't even counting anymore the SWAT guys because
what's
like,
great
why
though
bother?
is he's having this conversation with Griff on the beach. They're like walking away, and then in the background, the tunnel is just pouring smoke out of it, and then just like a handful of SWAT guys just stagger out of the tunnel too. And they don't even do nothing to Griff and Hoff. They're just walking away. And Griff's like, where are you going? Hoff's like, I'm going home. And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
This episode was crazy.
Well, the other big reason why I'm implying the self-replication equals breeding thing too, is that's in like the explanation of the episode is that she's looking for a man.
That's in the description in the episode, but the description
is bullshit too.
Yeah, it's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just inaccurate. She's just looking to live.
Yeah, that's what she's actually looking for. It's true. Well, also the whole second analysis by Angie, where she's talking about its regeneration capabilities and how it's all bullshit, really, because apparently not so much.
Yeah, when she got shot, she did not regenerate anything.
Like not even a bit,
No.
not one hit point.
No, she absolutely did not, and was totally not invulnerable. Although it would have been funny if, as the SWAT guys are staggering out, if she just casually strolled out and just went the other direction. Hoff had no idea.
That would be the cherry fucking on top. Either that or just a Ajogun growl and just pulls them all in. Like he's all I'll go home, and then like the camera turns back to Griffin. He's just looking sad, and then a Ajogun growl, and then just however many SWAT dudes, like one gets pulled back in, the others get started,
and then you see like a helmet fly out, like a leg.
Well, actually, no. She would jump out like. Whoever's furthest away, she'd just like punch them back into the tunnel, and then the other two she would like clothesline back in the tunnel, and then a bunch of blood and limbs would fly out of the tunnel.
You just want her to turn into an Ultimate Warrior comic?
Yes, a little bit, basically.
Yeah.
So it sounds like pretty high ratings for this one.
It's certainly it's certainly fucking funny.
It's bonkers.
It's funny and it's bonkers.
I think for season 2 Baywatch Nights, this is pretty high level stuff.
This has got to be pretty high level, like 6 minimum. I think higher than that.
Oh, I'm thinking higher than that. I mean,
You want to go 7?
This is the danger here. Is we peaked season 1 peaked fucking early.
It's the same problem as last season.
We peaked really fucking early, and we had no idea. This one, it just felt like a perfect happy accident. There's so much craziness going on.
Yeah, I know. See, that's the thing. What did we have Silent Witness at?
It was like a 7.5.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's better than Silent Witness, but as far as the season 2 scale, I don't know if it's going to get better than this either.
Like I said, that's why I say 6 minimum, and then it's weird for me because again, it's only episode 2.
Well, I mean, what did we rate episode 1?
We rated that one like a 3.
Yeah, that was.
It was not nearly as fun.
No, it was.
There was no bullshit science.
It was no Fishman of Steam Plant Playa Vista. There was no species ripoff.
Yeah. We didn't know. Yeah. We didn't know that people were amphibians at one point.
Yeah, a lot less random murder.
So I mean, in comparison to episode 1, because that's all you really have.
Yeah,
we're
not looking.
There were exactly 0 American gladiators in the first episode.
True. Yeah, Malibu. Yeah, that counts. Again, that still puts.
I think we're pretty safe at saying 8.
Yeah,
if you're only doing this area.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning to, is around an 8, because man, it's just there's so much going on. There really is, including every reason to hate Teague.
It's true. Teague is just the worst, and he continues.
He's constantly stonewalling them, giving them no information, No matter how many bodies hit the floor, he's like, I'm not telling you a thing.
Yeah. We have no idea what his stake in any of this is either. How he's related to any of this nonsense.
Like, at least in the first episode, he was like, oh, I have some knowledge on this occult shit.
Yeah.
And I'm here to help. And in this one, he's just putting up walls. And they're not getting any money in this. Nobody's offered them anything.
Right.
In the first episode, nobody hired them. In the second episode, T just like, show up here, and then I have some shady shit for you to try to handle for me.
Yeah. Yeah, Teague is the worst. It's a shame. It's a shame she didn't get to him. Is all I can say.
It's like, here's the thing.
That's how you make that. That's how you make. Actually, that's how you make that even better. Is Teague shows up right at the end, at the end of the tunnel. He's like, "What happened?" And then gets pulled into the tunnel and ripped to shreds.
And the real bad thing is, they had the Teague problem solved in the very first season when they had Destiny.
No, yeah.
And Destiny would have the Griff outlook. She'd just be happy to help.
Yeah, no.
Well, and there's the thing: when we first watched it, knowing what it was going to be, we thought Destiny was going to be the key to the evolution of.
But she was the first out the door.
Yeah, she was the tadpole stage.
What stage are we at now?
I don't know. We might be going back to Frog.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Newt.
Do we?
What are those cute ones? I can't remember. They have
Axolotl?
Yeah, we might be going to Axolotl. I don't know.
That was the first thing I was thinking, honestly, and I didn't want to try to pronounce the name before I said Newt.
It's like Newt's easier. Oh, you know what's even great? Is on the little episode ranking thing. I didn't even have 8 on there. I went 7 to 9.
8. Should we put 7.7? Just to be assholes.
I think 8's fine right now.
Nah, yeah, fine. I'm fine with 8. I'm fine with 8. This has a lot of what I want out of Baywatch.
That's the thing. Was this a good episode of TV?
And
no.
We're at the first few episodes. We have to have solid numbers for a little bit at least.
Yeah.
Then once we have to get into the wonky shit.
You're right.
Yeah. We don't know. Maybe, the next one might be just a little worse than Creature, and we have to go to 7 point something or whatever.
Yeah, we have to give it. We have to give it a.
Or somehow have a 66-point range between.
we have to give it an 8 just because it had the fish woman of Steam Plant Playa Vista.
Yeah, that's the thing. She was a fish woman, and then she went into the tunnels for the power plant. Mm-hmm. Come on.
Yeah.
And there's only one power plant we know of in this place, and that's the Steam Plant Playa Vista.
Okay. So what's the next episode?
The next episode.
That'd be another good merch idea, actually. By the way, fish woman of Steam Plant Playa Vista.
Yeah. Just like a classic 50s horror movie poster with the Tales from the Crypt style font,
Well, see, I was thinking actually the opposite of where it's a corporate representation of a factory, like you would see in a board game, like you put down a factory tile, right? But it also just had a mermaid, a smiling mermaid in front of it, like you would paint on the side of a bomber or something.
So,
pinup style.
Yeah. By the way, the Creature aired October 6, 1996. Mm-hmm. Just enough time to write a shitty version of.
Just to knock off species. Yep.
So this episode 3, is titled "The Rig." Oh boy, this sounds fun. Okay, so what do you think The Rig is?
I'm hoping it's a monster on an oil rig.
That's what I was going to go with.
Okay, you're both correct. Bonus points. What kind of monster?
Oh, what kind of monster?
Yeah.
We've already had 2 different fishmen.
Remember, this is also Baywatch, though.
Yeah.
Everything might be related to the ocean.
Well, no, the Joker wasn't really a fish man. It was the.
Yeah. To be fair, it was Nebula. It didn't know which guinea it was supposed to be from.
Yeah.
But
There was that mostly.
It was
mostly just a mess of myths and whatever. It was.
Yeah. It
They
just happened
call
to-
it. They call it like the. I think they refer to it like as their Sasquatch is what they call it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is also weird.
It just happened to live in the ocean because it was on a ship that crashed
What-
inside the ocean.
Yeah, it happened. It didn't. It doesn't normally live on the ocean. It doesn't breathe water. It just hangs out by rivers and jumps on boats and kills people.
I've had
Yeah.
krakens.
Let me see. Oil rig. I'm gonna go straight up vampire.
Oh, I thought you might get there. It's Hoff and Angie head to an oil rig where they encounter a gelatinous sea monster. Now they're going through their D&D book and they found gelatinous cube.
Yep.
You know what it's next to? Gripply. They're in the G section of the book right now.
Yeah. No, they...
What's next? Griffins, gargoyles. We don't know.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the gargoyle because I imagine that'll come up soon.
Noel. Could just be a Noel next.
No.
Maybe that's what the Ajogun was.
Could be.